Hello, everybody, and welcome to a Raw review. The show starts off with Dean Ambrose cutting an Ambrose Asylum promo where he begins to compare Braun Strowman to a river monster as a joke. He then welcomes his guest, Shane McMahon, who is once again in quote-unquote control of Raw. He's greeted very favorably by the fans once again. Dean tells him to have a seat when there is no seats. Haha, once again. Dean shows the WrestleMania clip, you know the one. Shane talks about up-and-coming undervalued stars such as AJ Styles, Sasha Banks, and Sami Zayn. This prompts Kevin Owens to interrupt Shane because he's an up-and-coming star. Kevin Owens claims McMahon, with power, has a personal vendetta against the number one superstar, him in his own eyes. This prompts Sami Zayn to interrupt Kevin Owens when Owens starts calling Zayn a waste and that he doesn't deserve to be near a title shot. Sami Zayn says Kevin Owens would have never ended up in the WWE without him, and he stabs friends in the back. This prompts Chris Jericho to interrupt. He says the only one in the ring with a brain is Kevin Owens because McMahon is drunk with power. I mean, at this point, you can smell a main event for Raw being Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens because he just complimented him versus Sami Zayn and Dean Ambrose. I ended up being wrong, but I was kind of close. Shane then plugs the WWE Network because Chris Jericho is complaining about the highlight reel not being on air. And he says, Chris, hey, you can watch the WWE, you can watch the highlight reel as much as you want on the WWE Network. It's there with all the content. Ha ha ha. Very clever. Shane makes a match at Payback where it's Chris Jericho versus Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. Shane steps out of the ring because tensions are quote-unquote too high. Ambrose then asks Shane to hold his plant. Very funny once again, Dean. Ambrose attacks Owens and Zayn attacks Chris Jericho. The first match of the night is Sami Zayn versus Chris Jericho. The main event of the night will end up being Dean Ambrose versus Kevin Owens. Sami Zayn hits the Blue Thunder Bomb and Chris Jericho kicks out. Jericho hits the wall, Zayn gets the ropes, and Chris Jericho ends up winning due to a poke in the eye into the Codebreaker. A dirty win, but a win nonetheless for Chris Jericho. We are then greeted by a backstage interview with AJ Styles, who is interrupted by Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, who hug it out because they are boys. Keep that in mind. We are then greeted by Enzo Amore and Big Cass, who come out and call out the Dudley Boys and call them Fugazi, which is amazing, and they are going to face each other in the number one contender tag team tournament. The winner will take on the Vaudevillains and the Usos of that match, and the winner of that final match will take on the New Day for the tag team championships. Enzo gets pounded on for most of the match. Big Cass and Enzo hit the rocket launcher to beat them, and everything's good in the world. We are then greeted with Roman Reigns with incredible boos once again. This guy is he's turning heel. He has to turn heel. He says the whole spiel, I'm not a good guy. I'm not a bad guy. I'm just the guy. Well, you're going to turn heel one way or another there, Roman, because you get booed every freaking night. He calls AJ Styles a tough guy after this. Styles interrupts, says he'll have the match of his life because that's what AJ Styles does, and he will become champ. Roman says, hey, I understand that because I had the match of my life at WrestleMania. At this point, everybody is booing Roman, and they just want the straight heel turn. As AJ is leaving, Gallows and Anderson attack Reigns. We get back from commercial break. Roman is about to be interviewed. AJ interrupts and says, hey, I had nothing to do with that, and Roman doesn't believe him. Great. We are then greeted by Fandango in the ring. Boo. Joined in commentary by Dolph Ziggler. Yay! Versus Baron Corbin. Obviously, this is a squash match for Baron Corbin to win because he's the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. They need a new name for that winner. And they're pushing him in just straight squash matches. Bradshaw and Ziggler talk him up a little bit in the match until Fandango gets thrown into Ziggler. Corbin wins, and then Ziggler attacks because you just threw a man into me and I am angry. And he gets laid out by a big boot and the end of days. Miz and Maurice cut a Miz TV promo about babies or something, and then they make out and get interrupted by Cesaro in his swagged out suit. Boring chance for the Miz, kind of a boring promo. They both cut weird, boring movie promos that nobody cares about, which is why Maurice is there, because she's hot. And Cesaro was like, let's face each other right now, and Miz is like, I can't, you were facing Rusev. And then Cesaro says, oh wait, but Shane changed the match. It's the League of Nations and you versus me. And he strips his suit and he's in wrestling gear and a Bootio shirt. In which point the crowd goes absolutely nuts because everybody loves the New Day. The match is okay. Cesaro hits the neutralizer on Sheamus for the win. We are then greeted with Charlotte and Flair promo promo backstage. Natalya interrupts and says Shane granted her a rematch at WWE Payback because Flair can't keep saving her, and at this point, Charlotte is still smug, but Natalya says, "Oh wait, but I'll have Bret Hart in the corner this time." Crowd has a moderate reaction to this. I think it's pretty cool. This is followed by an 8-woman tag tournament match. It's Natalya, Becky, Paige, and Sasha, aka the divas that are relevant, versus Charlotte, the champ, Naomi, Tamina, and Summer Rae, the other girls. Natalya makes Charlotte tap. That's all you need to know. Next up is the Vaudevillains versus the Usos. Fantastic. I was really rooting for the Vaudevillains because I would love to see Vaudevillains versus Enzo and Cass. Vaudevillains actually ended up winning after the Whirling Dervish, which means it would be an NXT tag team match to see who will take on the New Day for the tag team titles. Fantastic. At this point, we see the Apollo Crews vignette. He is getting pushed very much, and he will be in title pictures very soon. My prediction, I'll say after. Apparently, he will join the Social Outcasts if one of them beats him tonight, which means he is guaranteed to win this match versus Heath Slater. Boring squash match, because, yeah, okay. He's going to join the Social Outcasts. Kevin Owens comes out as Crews is walking out the winner, and they walk by each other. Maybe a sign of things to come. At this point, it's the main event, Kevin Owens versus Dean Ambrose. This ends up being a fantastic match. I'm not going to go over play-by-play, but Dean Ambrose hits Dirty Deeds after an attempted roll-up, and that's it. That's the match. Raw ends with Jericho hitting the Codebreaker on Dean Ambrose, because why not? And this is all because of Dean Ambrose's Asylum, taking over the highlight reel, in which Chris Jericho was very, very upset. Going back to Apollo Crews real quick, I believe he will eventually be pushed to take on the winner of The Miz and Cesaro. Whoever comes out the winner of that match is for champion, and a little feud will begin there, in which Apollo Crews will become Intercontinental Champion. That's all for this edition of a Raw Review. If you like this, hit the like button, or subscribe. If you have constructive criticism, not mean criticism, guys, you can tell me in the comments, because I do enjoy this. I do enjoy doing this, and I do enjoy WWE. So thank you guys for joining me, and have a great day.